Welcome to week 7, everybody. Pretty simple here. You have your normal reflection journal post. For the readings, really proofread your project. And as you can see here, look ahead to formatting issues according to the assignment number 4 link. Take a close gander at all these requirements for your project. Go through and do some serious editing. A lot of times people are moving back and forth between different font styles. Double check your APA heading levels, etc. Also, take a look at the requirements for your oral presentation, which is also going to be due this week, well, week 8. That is, there's really nothing due this week in particular. You are the online asynchronous students. So you're going to be submitting your oral presentation slides according to this rubric to the discussion board. Then on Friday, that's on Wednesday, then on Friday, you're going to be replying to at least 2 peers. And then you're also going to be submitting that as an assignment, very similar to the peer review process. Follow these journals. Really, if I were you, I would start creating this template now, or these presentation slides now. I realized that I found myself personally in the middle of writing up some research conclusions to some of my own research that I'm doing in the classroom right now with respect to sparking student curiosity. And I thought what I would do is share with you the template that I'm using to report my findings of my exploratory research to my colleagues, and then create a little template for you that perhaps you could use if you're having struggles still thinking about how to do your chapter 4. So here's the little template I put together. Now, full disclosure, I'm overly structured with this process. You're welcome to use a narrative form as you saw in the examples I shared last week. But I thought I would share with you this process, and I'll also share with you this template linked to the video notes in Blackboard. So I'm doing a research study on investigating methods for sparking student curiosity in the classroom, specifically the independent school private high school classroom. So I took the general headings for your chapter 4, that is reflection, findings, and discussions, conclusions, and recommendations for future practice, and I expanded on them a little bit to help demystify how I'm going to be triangulating mine. Now, I did surveys, I had my reflection journal, and I had the literature. You might have more or less. But hopefully this demystifies what the triangulation process is all about. So for me, I begin by restating the purpose. The purpose of this exploratory project was to investigate best practices for sparking student curiosity in the classroom. In the below section, I will share my findings. For each research question, I will discuss findings from the literature, administered surveys, and my reflection journal. Finally, I will share conclusions and recommendations for future practice. Research question 1. The first research question asked, what are best pedagogical practices for sparking student curiosity in the high school independent school setting? Literature findings. Insert my literature. Survey findings. Insert my survey. If I pull quotations from the survey, I'll reference the appendix where the survey will exist. Reflection journal. This is what I observed in my own practice and observing other people's practice and my own personal reflections. Pull direct quotations out, reference the appendix. Research question 2. The second research question asked, what are technological best practices for developing interventions for sparking curiosity in the high school independent school setting? Literature findings, survey findings about what my colleagues are using, what kind of technology my students enjoy, etc. Reference appendix, reflection journal. Here's what I observed anecdotally in my own practice from conversations with colleagues and students. Pull direct quotations from my reflection journal, reference appendix. This is the triangulation. I'm getting at each research question using the literature, using surveys, using my reflection journal. Conclusions. The purpose of this study was to restate, according to the findings shown above, summarize each, what is the best practice for sparking student curiosity with respect to pedagogy and technology, and then keeping in mind the findings discussed. Recommendations for further practice includes, and for me it's doing it in a public school setting, given the natural intrinsic motivation of independent school students, perhaps different grade levels, etc. So hopefully this is helpful for those of you that find yourself stuck with this chapter 4 process. Apologize, I didn't get this out to you a little bit earlier, but I woke up this morning writing up my own research and thought I really should share this with you all.